In today's video, I will unbox my new wool winder. If you have watched some of my knitting videos, you have probably noticed that the wool winder that came with my knitting machine has a missing cone. I found a way to use it somehow by inserting an empty toilet paper roll and winding the yarn around it. This method was working most of the time, but to keep the toilet paper roll on the winder, I had to wind the yarn very slowly. Any tension on the yarn was making the toilet paper roll to fly out. The small gear in the center is worn out or the metal piece is bent, so I was not getting good results every time. As you can see, the yarn cake was jumping in the yarn bow, which in some cases led to dropped stitches or major failures. Before we continue, I want to take a moment to thank my channel members. I was actually thinking about disabling the membership option after the first month, but on the last day I saw that I gained another member. Tony, thank you for becoming a member of my channel. Michele, thank you for your continued support and kind comments. Now let's get to the unboxing. This is the box of the winder. There is nothing written on the sides. I thought they used a very old photo, but when I opened the box I saw that the winder looked yellowed from the sun. It's a brand new one, just the plastic is that color. It even comes with instructions for use. You can pause the video if you want to read them. The yarn guide looks a bit thinner than on the winder I have. Other than that, both winders look the same. It is very easy to put the plastic cone. Now let's check if I will be able to mount it on my sewing machine table. I can't loosen it more than that. My sewing machine table is very thick and I'm happy that I can mount the winder on it. It is about 5 centimeters or 2 inches thick. Now let's compare both winders side by side. The one on the right is my old one. They are both the same size. The cone on the right is a 3D printed one. If I don't forget, I will leave a link from where I have downloaded it. The one I printed can easily be mounted on my old winder. But it is great that it can be used on the new winder as well. The plastic cone from the new winder can only be attached to the new winder. The lower part is slightly bigger and it won't fit inside the old one. I love to put an empty toilet paper roll over the 3D printed cone, and it is the perfect fit so I can wind the yarn on it and be able to use the plastic cone again. This can't be done with the new cone because it is smaller. You can see how thick the yarn guide on the old winder is. The guide on the new winder is cheaply done and needs to be fixed somehow. I will try to design a 3D part to support it. Now I will try to make my first yarn cake using the new winder. As you can see, the yarn guide is moving like crazy. It can't be pulled forward and stay in place. I love to watch how the stitches get unraveled when rewinding old projects. Now I can take the yarn cake. This is my first yarn cake. It looks very good and it can be used as a center pull cake. Tell me in the comments, did you prefer to use a center pull cakes to knit? I will rewind the yarn into a new cake and I will show you why I never use center pull cakes. I will put a toilet paper roll as I do when I'm preparing the yarn for each project. I'm winding slowly, but I have sped up the video in some sections. Meanwhile, you can support me by liking the video and leaving me a comment below. It is going great so far, but now you can see the first knot. This is the second knot that formed. If you use this cake when knitting and you miss one of the knots, this may lead to much trouble along the way. Now you can see the next knot. You may notice that they become bigger at the end of the cake. Maybe I had to try this with new yarn, but I have already tried it several times and in the end the tangled mess ends in the bin. It just doesn't work well for me. I don't think it's worth to try untangling the last part. I still managed to use some of the yarn, but the risk was too big. I hope you have found something useful in today's video. Now have a nice day and see you next time.